General session. Today is Tuesday, June 14th, 2022. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those calling in, please ensure that you have muted your phone line by pressing *6. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Again, we want to take a minute to recognize the upcoming Juneteenth holiday this Sunday, which commemorates June 19th, 1865, the day African Americans, enslaved African Americans in Texas finally learned of their freedom. 2.5 years later, after the Emancipation Proclamation went into effect, Union soldiers, many of whom were Black, arrived in Galveston, Texas, to announce the emancipation of the estimated 250,000 enslaved people there. Black families recognized June 19th as a celebration of independence and continued to honor it throughout the centuries. However, it wasn't recognized by Congress until 1996 and only became a national holiday last year. This year is an opportunity for us to celebrate together, for us to recognize and remember the past and vow never to repeat it and learn from it. The abolishment of slavery did not mean African Americans gained equal rights. Instead, African Americans have battled to gain equity and fundamental human rights at painfully slow pace since 1865, with equity moving closer but never within reach. Even several advances in equity that have been made throughout the years are now under attack in areas across the country and Ohio, right here in our state, via dangerous legislation and extremist ideology. We have seen attempts to chip away at voting rights, strip away our history books of Black humanity, and further divide us as a nation. And we cannot still in this state say that racism is a public health crisis. It is important that we recognize the fabric of our country and how racism is rooted in public health and is codified in a lot of our laws and policies. Franklin County declared racism as a public health crisis a few years ago, and we continue to recognize and celebrate Juneteenth because equity and inclusion is an entitlement granted to all of us. Therefore, the county offices will be closed on Monday, June 20th, recognizing the holiday, which falls on a Sunday this year. Okay. Next, we will.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you
Sorry.
so much, Madam President. And I once, in my business world, I once did a poll on. We were testing the product. It's a long story, but we tested the question in focus groups, asking people, did they recognize the year 1865? And you would be amazed at how many people did not know the significance of the year 1865. That being said, and it wasn't a racial thing. To be honest with you, there were a lot of people who didn't recognize it. And so I wanted to take a minute to just lament on the significance of that date and all the things Madam President Crawley just covered, but to just challenge Franklin County to continue to dig deep within ourselves as an institution, to do our part in addressing the iniquities that still plague our society today. I believe that we have gotten off to a very good start over the last few years, and certainly my colleague, Commissioner O'Grady, has been right at the forefront with that, and it is, quite frankly, a new chapter in Franklin County history. You think about the idea that I was elected in 2016 and became the first African American in the history of Franklin County to serve as a commissioner, and only at the time, I want to say second or third in the state, maybe third in the state, in the history of the state of Ohio. And what it suggests is that we really got some work to do, and the best place that we can start is right here in the services and work that we do in Franklin County. when you think about, you mentioned the codified laws and policies that have really plagued our society since June 19th, in 1865. And there are so many examples of it. This is an area that I feel very well versed in, but let me give you one example of that, because often we don't connect the dots. When we created the Federal Housing Agency, the idea was to create a quote-unquote middle class. And the way that the government was proposing to do it was to create home ownership opportunities. Now, let me take a step back. The average white family in America today has about $170,000 worth of median assets, juxtaposed to the average black family that has about $17,000 worth of median asset value. The vast majority of that wealth is in home ownership. Now, let me go back to the FHA. When the FHA was created as an institution, the idea was to create this middle class, the $170,000 median asset you talk about. But in those policies, there was very specific and deliberate provisions that prohibited the sale of homes to African Americans and created environments where what we know today to be the suburb of America. So think, then this was pre the 30-year mortgage. Today you get a 30-year mortgage and you pay that off over the lifetime. That was created when FHA was created to provide the creation of this suburb and this middle class. So we did it, and that's why you see the vast majority of the suburbs today that are not minority-oriented, because when they were first created, there were very deliberate and specific policies that prohibited the sale or even the offering of a 30-year mortgage to black families. And so we have been doing a lot, and so now we've changed the laws. Certainly there was a civil rights movement. We changed the laws, changed policies, but now you've got to catch up. So imagine starting a race. Amy, if you and I were racing on a track, and you gave me a 200-meter head start, the chances that you'll ever catch me are highly unlikely, no matter what our running capacities are. It's a long distance to try to catch someone, and only part of the race is 200 meters left. And so my point is that we've got a lot of work to do to begin to change the narrative and allow our country to be the great country that our forefathers set out for it to be. I think they got a lot of things wrong in the very beginning, but they got some things right. And the thing that they got right that's fundamental is our democracy, the ability to change the laws as we go. And to me, that's where we come in as public servants. We don't have a magic wand. There's no button that we can go back to our office and push and make it all better and work. But what we've got is the ability to, piece by piece, day by day, begin to change the narrative that started long before anyone in this room existed. And so I want to challenge us all, the departments that are on today. We've got a DE&I office, and it's not just entitled. We challenge you to do the best you can to be inclusive. We challenge you to do that both in your procurement and in your hiring practice. We challenge you to do that in your policies, to make sure that everything we do gives everyone an equal chance at success, because our job is, just as it says on that wall, service, progress, and excellence, to give that same output to every resident every single day. And until we believe that, until we own that, until we make it a part of our general DNA and our value set, we are always going to find the challenges that have plagued our society be even rooted right here in Franklin County. And so Madam President, I just didn't want to I didn't want to go over this moment so quickly, because I really feel deeply that we are at a changing moment in history. I really feel that way. And you can see it all across the United States. You can see it through every corporation. You can see it in Congress. You can see it in the White House. You can see it on city councils and school boards. And I believe something is happening in this country for the better. I don't think that it will end during our lifetime, but I think that we will start a new chapter that creates a new narrative so that perhaps our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will have a little bit better, just as we had it from our great ancestors. And so I'm so grateful that I know Commissioner Graydon, we set out to make Juneteenth a holiday a couple of years ago. There wasn't even the slightest hesitation in terms of support. And to me, that's the Franklin County way. That's the growth that we've made as a county and as an institution. It's easy to do it as an individual. It's another thing to do it as an organization, and I believe that we are headed in the right direction. I believe that deeply in my heart. And more importantly, finally, I'll say, let's lead the way. You know, it's okay when we declared racism as a public health crisis, as the big county that we are, to do that shook waves throughout the country. And there were a lot of people who challenged us. There were politicians and folks who just don't agree. But we took that step, and now we're living it. And I have to say to Commissioner Brown, who retired, as you all know, some months ago, and Commissioner O'Grady, I'm grateful to have colleagues that not just take the action, but believe in what we're doing. And it is part of their own value construct. And that's what makes the difference for where we're headed in Franklin County. And so Commissioner Crowley has absolutely joined us and picked up the baton with us in this process. And we ask and challenge each and every one of you, no matter what department you're in, no matter what your role is in Franklin County, to wake up each day and think service, progress, and excellence, and I add equality for everyone. And so thanks for indulging me, everyone, and I hope that next Monday you have an opportunity to reflect on the progress that we've made as a country, and also the progress that we're attempting to make as Franklin County. Thank you, Madam President.
Absolutely. Commissioner?
Madam President?
Yes.
If I might, it's a little hard to follow Professor Boyce when he gets going like this. But if I could, you know, the thing that strikes me about this is that in the 400-year, and I don't want to delve into it as deeply as Commissioner Boyce did, but in the 400-year history of the United States, not necessarily being a country, but people arriving here in this country, you know, at the end of the day, white folks have treated black folks improperly, to say the least. And now here we are, and I want to say this with all the students on this morning. It's not lost on me that we have all these students with us today. But now here we are, modern day, not just in the legislature in Ohio, but in legislatures all over the country. We have folks who are trying to take away our teachers' ability to be able to tell the story the way that it should be told, even if they're not trying to tell the story. I mean, you know, there's this movement across the country and legislatures across the country, including here in Ohio, to be able to make it impossible and trying to limit our educators' ability to tell, you know, the real story about what has gone on in this country over the last, you know, 400 plus years. And, you know, that's just a shame. And so the story of Juneteenth is an important one in our country's history, and the story of what has the real history of our country, not just as it relates to race relations, but as it relates, you know, just to real history, should never be taken away, and you know, people's ability to be able to teach the truth should never be taken away. And so just be mindful of that as you go forward. It's good that we have all of our students with us today, so that we can recognize them, but it's also good that we have them with us today as we honor and celebrate Juneteenth. So thank you, Commissioner, for the time.
Absolutely. I actually thought you were going to mention the piece of legislation that is in the Ohio House of Representatives that would impact like diversity, equity, and inclusion, or could down at the local
Well,
level. And I know
Well,
you've been
there are
working on
several
that.
pieces of legislation I'd be happy to talk about if you want me to do that. There's CRT, there's the piece of legislation that would limit people's ability to be able to talk about and teach the real truth and real history. But there's also a piece of legislation, I think it's House Bill 616, that is the for lack of a better term, the Don't Say Gay bill that's been passed in Florida and is being considered or passed in other states, that would take away the ability to be able to talk about or express any conversation about sexuality in schools as well. And this Board of Commissioners has been opposed to both of those pieces of legislation, along with some other pieces of legislation that are being considered. And so for reasons not necessarily just that we're ideologically opposed, or on the opposite side of the political spectrum from members of the legislature that have passed them, simply because we're opposed to folks, telling educators that they can't, what they can and cannot teach from an ideological standpoint, especially when these aren't ideas that are generally ever brought up in classrooms anyway. CRT, critical race theory is a college level idea or construct that is never taught in elementary schools or even in secondary schools, high schools. But we'll pass legislation to stop it from being able to be taught in elementary schools anyway. So it's a good day. Juneteenth is a good day to be able to bring up these issues and remind folks that our history and our past is something that we should be learning from, not covering up and not burying.
Yeah, thank you for that. One of the pieces of legislation specifically would have an impact on locals and municipalities, also and government entities not being able to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and especially I know Administrator Wilson wants to say some more, so I'll just hold my comments to the end and wrap it up. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, President.
Thank you, President Crowley, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady. I just want to make one quick point. You all were leaders in making the declaration of Juneteenth holiday that Franklin County recognizes. Also, I'd like to credit you all for when that declaration was made, you all said that you wanted to also be an opportunity to educate not only our employees but the community on the significance of the action. And in line with that, on Friday the 17th at noon, you all are sponsoring through your Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion a information session on Juneteenth and African American history here in Columbus and Franklin County, and that'll be available to the public via Facebook.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. So just to wrap up what Commissioner Boyce and Commissioner O'Grady was saying about the history and learning history, especially for a government agency such as ours that is the social safety net, and we deal in housing. So if we're talking about accumulating wealth and building wealth through home ownership, and redlining impacting that. If we even go back to 1865, when the enslaved Africans were told about their freedom, a lot of enslaved people remained on plantations. Like, where would they have to go? We know about 40 acres and a mule, but they did not have any property, they didn't own any land, they didn't have any money to purchase land. And so there is always this argument about, well, they were free, so they could leave and no longer work on in the fields and and labor, but it's where would they have gone? And Dr. Martin Luther King talks about this a lot, about coming here, being here, and not having access to wealth and access to being able to make money and purchase land. And then after we saw, after the Emancipation Proclamation and after enslaved Africans learned about their freedom, and then a few years later we go into Reconstruction, where you did have African Americans in elected office and trying to change the course of this country, especially for Black people. And then we see how Reconstruction failed. And then other laws like Black codes and Jim Crow that then became codified, and other court precedents that continue to put barriers in front of African Americans being able to progress and move forward. And that is what we are trying to do today, several hundreds of years later, mitigate the negative outcomes from slavery that are real, that are generational, that we cannot change the course of where we go unless we change laws and policy, unless we make sure that everybody has access to capital to start a business, access to loans to purchase homes without high interest rates in the neighborhoods that they would like to live. And so that is what I see as being a part of this board and this commission, even declaring racism as a public health crisis. As we move forward, we look at how our laws and policies impact our individuals, our neighbors in this community, and what we can do to make sure that their path to, whether it's the middle class or just a path forward to take care of their family, is attainable for everyone. And so with that, I thank my colleagues for always being on the forefront, being progressive, declaring Juneteenth a holiday, racism as a public health crisis. And you're right, Commissioner Boyce, I think we can continue to be a leader in this space in a county that other counties look to for progress and achievement. And thank you, Commissioner O'Grady, for all the work that you do at CCAO and on the government committee, and being a voice for and a champion for the people and also at Luck. And so I'm grateful to be a part of this board. So there are no additional comments on that. We look forward to celebrating Juneteenth. And we have students on, so let's go ahead and recognize a number of students and their coaches. So 3 times a year, we look forward to recognizing the state champions from area high schools, and today we have the student athletes that excelled in their spring sport during the 2022 season. Working with our partners at Greater Columbus Sports Commission and the Ohio High School Athletic Association is always a privilege. So I want to say good morning and welcome to all of the student athletes, their coaches, and families that are tuned into this morning's meeting. To kick things off, I'd like to introduce our good friend, Executive Director of the Greater Columbus Sports Commissioner, Linda Logan.
Good morning. Thank
Good morning.
you, commissioners, and thank you, Ken Wilson, as well, one of our great board members. This is a big month for us. We're going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Sports Commission later this month. It's also the 50th anniversary of Title IX later this month. So I know that many of the girls that are represented today have all that in their sights, of the pioneers that really made things happen for us. And before we kick it off with the 10 high schools, teams, and individual athletes that are being recognized today, I wanted to give a shout out to 2 Ohio high school girls that broke national championships just this week at Eugene, Oregon at the NCAA track and field event. Abby Steiner from Dublin Jerome broke the 200-meter record. She graced our stage 4 times as a 4-time state champion. And then Adelaide Aquila from Westlake High School broke her own record as the shot put just later this week. So I just wanted to give a nod. I'm sure that Doug Youth, the CEO of Ohio High School Athletic Association, will want to comment on those 2 great athletes too. before we recognize our current champions.
Hey,
Thank
hey,
you.
Linda, before he does, I want to tell you, if you get a chance, watch the NCAA's women's 4x4 and what Abby Steiner did in the 4x4. It was
Saw that. She's
amazing.
remarkable.
I remember
Right,
when
so
she was,
did it, yes.
I remember when she was at Kaufman and she came before us all those years, man, she's something.
Yeah, you got to watch this women's 4x4.
I did, I saw it on TV.
Oh yeah,
last
I
night.
mean, she was probably back, I don't know, 70 to 100 meters away and caught those other young ladies. I've never seen anything like that. And that's, you talking about the NCAA championships is a mini Olympics. You know, most of those kids are from other countries. They represent their countries in the Olympics. I mean, this is the best of the best running. And she walked them down like they were standing still. It was, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I was like, there's no way she's going to catch them. And she went right past those guys. It was amazing. If you get a chance, watch the women's 4x4 for the NCAAs. It's something you can't miss.
Thank you. So Doug, you're up next.
Oh, thanks, Linda, and thanks, commissioners, and congratulations to all the athletes on here. And I remember Abby running down a track over here at Jesse Owens Stadium a couple years ago, and just had some great performances over there. And so, but we also had some youngsters follow in her footsteps right behind her, and had some great individual efforts as well as team efforts this spring, in particular in track. We had 2 weekends ago, and we just completed our spring sports tournaments at Canal Park in Akron this past weekend. And so I do want to congratulate the young athletes on today and tell them how proud we are of them. And particularly, this probably was the worst spring for a spring athlete weather-wise that any of us can remember. And so it was really neat, particularly in track. Some of them reached their peak during that time because it was so hard earlier in the year to do so. And so we congratulate all our athletes and appreciate what they do. So much evidence of education-based athletics, and not just from a physical standpoint, from watching teammates pick each other up and things like that. So it was just a great spring, and appreciate all our athletes, and congratulations, and enjoy your summer. Thank you.
Turn it back over to you, commissioners, and congratulations to our state champs.
Thank you, Linda and Doug. When your high school and sports team is announced, if the coach or school representative could please unmute your microphone, introduce yourself and your athletes, share a few words about your season, and if there are 1 or 2 students available to highlight their experiences, that would be great. We always enjoy hearing your next steps following high school from the seniors, so if you want to include what you plan on doing next, we would love to hear about it. Excuse me. First, we have New Albany's girls lacrosse team who went to the state championship. Are the girls on? I know the coach isn't, but if the girls are on, we would like to say welcome and congratulations.
Hi, this is Elena Enich, the girls varsity head coach, and I know a lot of our players are on this morning as well. I would just like to thank everybody for taking the opportunity and recognizing our team from this year. Like you said, this spring was challenging and a lot of things that we couldn't control, and that was a big message to our young student athletes this year, and rising when that adversity hits. And I think nothing portrays that or personifies that more than our state championship game here a couple weekends ago. And very similar to the 4x4 that everybody was just talking about, very similar to the young lady that was from Central Ohio as well. When the chips seemed against us, she found a way to rally and win. And that was personified by 25 members of our team. We were down in the state championship game, 3 minutes and 13 seconds left, down by 3 goals. And if anybody knows anything about lacrosse, that's a fight to come back. And our girls did that with such poise and passion to make sure that we brought home our first Division I state title, and couldn't be more proud of them and the hard work and dedication they gave over the spring. And I think more importantly than the athletic achievements that each and every one of them has made this year, they excelled in the classroom as well. And 13 of our 25 student athletes had above a 4.0 GPA. So very proud of them both on the field and academically. And thank you again to everybody for recognizing them this morning.
Well, I'll tell you what, being down 3 goals with 3 minutes left, that's like superhuman. I mean, that's kind of Tom Brady-esque right there. That's a comeback for the ages.
Absolutely. We have 25 Brady's on our team, which is pretty phenomenal in the fight that they showed to claw their way back. And it was kind of funny. Our coaching staff, we were looking around like, okay, they were cool, calm, and collected. Like, okay, we understand the task at hand, and they did what they needed to do. And I think it was a couple seconds into overtime, 45 seconds left in the first 3 minutes, put the ball in the back of the net and secured that first Division I state championship. So very, very proud of them.
Is there a place to watch that we could watch that? I just want to see that.
Is that on
I'd love to see
YouTube
that.
someplace?
I believe it's on NFHS. It might be on YouTube now, but it should be out there somewhere.
Man, that's ice water in the veins. I don't want to play poker against you guys. Oof. Jeez. Congratulations.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Are there 1 or 2 students who want to, from the team, who would like to highlight their experience? We'd love to hear from you, but no pressure if you don't want to.
Yeah,
No,
hi.
they got to speak.
I'm Catherine Gerd, and right here are the 4 captains from New Albany Girls Lacrosse team. And I just want to say that I know I speak on behalf of the entire team that we are so honored to be recognized by the Franklin County Commissioners in the Greater Sports Organization. We worked so hard this year and are so appreciative of Franklin County acknowledging our accomplishment of winning the Division I state championship. We truly can't thank everyone enough, and our community support does not go unnoticed. And we can't thank you guys enough again for this recognition.
What do you all
That's how
have?
you do it. For the rest of you, that's how you do it. You get a little bit of, some notes there, some, just so you know you're going to do it right. Good job, guys.
Well, what do you girls have going on next? If you want to tell us, are you playing at the next level, or are you going to college, going on to trade school, or anything? What's up?
The 3 of us right here are playing in college. Catherine's going to Xavier, I'm going to Ohio State, and then Mary's going to Colorado Boulder, and then Mimi's going to Elon.
Nice.
Great schools.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Upper Arlington. We are joined by Coach Kyle Olson, who led the boys lacrosse team to earn the state's #1 ranking. Coach, are you with us?
Yes, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for being here. Go ahead and tell us about your season.
It was, well, first, congratulations to all the other state champions on. It's really an incredible accomplishment. The New Albany game was very exciting, and I'll admit we were rooting for Upper Arlington, who they were playing, but it was a great game between 2 great teams. Thank you very much for having us on. It was our 50th season of lacrosse at Upper Arlington, which is something that's very special to me, having played here and been an assistant coach here. It was our 17th state championship. We accomplished so much throughout the season through the leadership of our seniors. We got win number 700 as a program. We played teams from 8 different states. 3 of them won their state championships this past year, and I think 2 other of them lost in the finals. So the opportunity to play, a national schedule in our 50th year was really exciting. And then, of course, ending it with a great victory to capture our 17th state championship was no better way to do it.
Great. Do you have any students with you that would like to talk about their experience?
I have a couple of guys who are just been elected captain for next year. Hayes Hunley was a starter for us in first team all state defense. Hayes, did you want to say a few words?
Hi, I'm Hayes Hunley. I just wanted to say thanks for inviting us on. We really worked hard this season, especially since we knew it was our 50th season. We needed to make it special. And to be able to get the 17th in our history is just what makes it amazing. And throughout the season, we just bonded and knew we had to do it. So I just wanted to say thanks for having us on.
Thank you for being here, and congratulations. Okay, next up, we have St. Francis de Sales, which competes in a different division. We are joined by Coach Matt Triplett, who also led their boys lacrosse team to claim the state championship title. Coach Triplett, are you on?
Coach Triplett isn't on today. He's at a lacrosse camp. He's coaching a bunch of younger kids, but he asked me to say some words on his behalf. So throughout the season, we knew we had a great team going into this. We have two other captains on here, Jackson Carowin and David Chantal, who are both very good offensive threats. And our other captain couldn't be on. He's also at the lacrosse camp, Cooper Simpson. And we knew we had a special team going into this. We were all fighting from the very beginning. And Coach Tripp just wanted me to say thank you for the honors and thank you for inviting all of us on. And if Jackson, David want to say something, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I can say a few words as well. So this is Jackson Carowin, who's one of the captains of our team. Again, thank you for acknowledging our team, and we are super grateful for the recognition. Yeah, and I would say it was a really long season for us, and it had its fair share of ups and downs. But it was also a season where we continuously harped on family and togetherness. And this kind of this bonded our team really well and established a culture where winning was not only like possible but expected for us. And throughout our playoff run, you know, our closest game was by a margin of 6 goals, and that comes along with our championship game where we had a 14-goal victory. So that really kind of closed out our season, and we ended it on a high note. And so that was super important for us.
Awesome.
I close it out. This is David Chantal, another one of the senior captains on the team. And all my other captains hit the nail right on the head. I mean, it was a great season. It started out with our ups and downs, but we really put it all together in the playoffs, going through every single opponent. And we just took it game by game and knew that there's an opponent in front of us, and they were standing in our way of a state championship. And we took every day and didn't take it for granted and got to work. And we were able to come away with the state championship, also breaking 4 state championship records along the way.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Well, next up, we have Pickerington Central track and field coach Jason Roach, who led the Troy Lane to multiple state championship titles. Coach, are you with us? We'd love to hear more about Mr. Lane, who is a very, very impressive athlete.
How is everyone doing today?
Good.
Yes, this is Coach Darren Green. Coach Roach was not available to speak today, so I'm also one of the head coaches here at Pickerington Central High School.
Tell us about your season.
I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. All right. I think a lot of you guys have really kind of stated it a little earlier today. The spring season was, it was a challenge, man, nothing to say the least. The weather didn't do us any favors. So obviously with that affected with training and obviously even to be able to run meets, it just held us back a little bit. But nonetheless, this group where we had with Troy Lane, who won the 100, who won the 200, and also anchored the 4x1. It's also with Mr. Ethan Pinkins, who's a junior, Caleb Holloway, who's a senior, and our freshman, Xavier McCoy, on that 4x1 as well. And with Troy Lane, obviously, one thing that probably doesn't get said enough is what you see of him on the track. Even though he broke the 100-meter all-state all-time record with 10.25, and then the 200 he won with a 21 flat 09. And what I can't really say too much more about Troy is that he's a better person off the track than he is on the track. And I can't, I mean, how he accepts challenges, he accepts coaching. He's got all the right people around him. And it's just, it's just a pleasure to coach. It's just to have that type of person to be able to follow and lead the entire group in the way he acts and the way he does. It's just a pleasure to have. And really, with all this that I said, we have 2 seniors that are on this entire boys track team that participated in this, and basically we'll have everybody back. So not only are we looking to come back here this year, but this group right here, what they did, they capitalized. They took advantage of a situation that happened all the way up towards the end of the season. They capitalized on it and actually finished off with our 4x4 group, where the game, it was tied 30-30, all the way up to 4x4. It was us and Olentangy Orange. And all our 4x4 group needed to do was get 1 point for us to win the team state title. And they pulled it off, man. I mean, it was a sight to see. And typically Troy runs that 4x4, but he did not run it. So that 4x4 was led with Mr. Ethan Pinkins, who, once again, I stated was our leadoff leg on the 4x1. And our second leg with Iron Harrison, third leg, Isaiah Jackson, and then our 4th leg, Isaiah Harper, which, once again, there's only 1 senior in that group. So it was just exciting feeling all the way around. I mean, a big shout out to our coaches, Stephen Robinson, Brittany White, Jennifer Green, Natasha Wilson, Andy Fisher, Jake Schimberg. It was just a wonderful, unexpected feeling, this even being my 2nd year here at Pickerington. So, I can't, I'm just blessed to be in the situation, and blessed to know these kids. And if you guys, I know since you guys like watching the videos or whatnot, if you have not YouTubed, and you can probably do it right now, it only takes but a few seconds. Troy Lane 4x1 greatest comeback ever. If you see that, that's the state championship 4x1, where he's back about 15 meters and he comes and gets them at the very last end of the finish line. It's probably college, whatever you want to say. It's probably one of the greatest comebacks you've probably seen. So, like I said,
is that this year, Coach? You said that was this year? You said that was this year, that race?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
I want to see that. That's great.
2 weeks. Oh, I would like to see your reaction to it if you can see it before you.
Yeah, I want to see
it's a
that.
beautiful
Yeah.
sight, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations, Coach Green. I'm sure Commissioner Boyce is going to try to pull it up here in a second. I know how he is. So
We do have a young man on there,
Yeah,
Xavier
I was gonna-
McCoy. He could want to speak.
Absolutely.
Hello, I'm Xavier McCoy. I don't even know where to start. To be honest. I just like to thank God for helping my team and me carry through the 4x1, and for everyone else that ran in states with us and all our contestants. We had struggles. I'll say that. We had struggles going through the 4x1. We had a whole bunch of changes because some people wasn't there. But in the end, God helped us through, like I said, and we just got the job done. I like to thank my parents and all that for putting me through all the things that I've been through, and all my coaches, Darren Green and Coach Roach and Ohio Heat. They really they put me through a lot, but it worked out. And that's basically it. I mean, it's just a good feeling to be here. I actually thank y'all for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you and your other teammates. Is there any other student from Pick Central that wants to speak, or?
I do not believe so. I mean, actually, Troy was texting me now. He's actually in the middle of training right now because he's getting ready for nationals down in New Balance. I believe the other one's actually another person is working. So they staying busy.
Well, that's good. Well, congratulations, Coach Green, and to all the students.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. So next we have several other track and field champions in Franklin County. Let's get to recognize these great athletes as well. Thomas Worthington under Coach Bill Darling. He led the boys 4x400 meter relay team and claimed the state title. Coach, are you with us? Okay, is there anyone from Thomas Worthington with us today? If not, we would just say congratulations to that team and to the coaches as well. So we have Olentangy Orange under Coach Adam Walters, who led the girls 4x100 meter relay team to claim the state title. Coach Walters, are you with us? Or anyone from Olentangy Orange? All right, well, we say congratulations to them as well. We have Grandview Heights, who had an athlete win 2 state titles under Coach Brian Scotch. Student Colin Hodge Abed is the state champion for both the 110-meter hurdles and the long jump. I think we have both Colin and his parents with us today. Is that correct? All right. Well, congratulations, Colin.
I can speak to Colin for a minute here. Sorry. Coach Shock could not make it. My name's Patrick McHugh. I'm an assistant coach. Colin won state in the long jump and 110-meter hurdles, which obviously won state championships very good too, is twice as good. Long jump, he was in second place and going into his last jump and went 22 2 3/4, which 22 feet had kind of been a barrier for him. So that was ice in the veins moment. Took first place, and the other guy was fouled on his last jump. So Colin won that one, and then in the 110 hurdles, he was the fastest seed time in regionals. He was fastest prelim. Then he was fastest in finals and won the state. So it was an incredible performance. It was our school's first state champion since the 90s, I believe. So it was a great job. He's worked hard all season for 4 years now. The other kids really look up to him. He's done everything we've asked and then some, and it was an awesome performance by him. And he will be continuing his career at Northeastern University in Boston, which is a D1 school. So he was one of the best athletes probably Grandview Heights has ever had. So it was a great day for him.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, and congratulations to all the coaches and parents as well. Last, but certainly not least, is the Afrocentric High School. Coach Clayton Ryder, Coach Ashton Winfrey, who won the state title as the girls' long jump champion. Coach, are you with us this morning?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I'm well. And yourself?
I am doing great.
Welcome. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Franklin County Commissioners for allowing us to come here today and to recognize our athletes. We really appreciate it. Second of all, I'd like to say that Ashton Winfrey is second year on my team. She's a sophomore and she's a great young lady. She's a great person and she's also a good student. She's definitely done a great job in her schoolwork this year, and she has been on the honor roll several times throughout the school year. So we definitely need to applaud that. Ashton, again, unfortunately, last year, Ashton came out, did a great job for us, but she got injured. So she could not finish the season. And a couple of her teammates were able to go to the state championship, and I think that really, stuck in her mind. So this year, she really came back and she was determined. And she's one of our best runners, my fastest sprinter. She runs 100, 4x1 anchor, 4x2 anchor. In reality, she can probably run any event. Well, this year, I can't take the credit. I got to give it to my assistant coaches, because my assistant coaches, Coach April Stewart, introduced her to the long jump, thought she would do well at it. And then Coach Kendall Moore joined in and gave her some different techniques. And so they were pretty much working with her the whole year, and it really paid off. She was the city champion this year, the district champion, and she had a hiccup there at the regional and to finish second, but she still had the best jump in the state. So coming into the state championship, there was a lot of pressure. And I have to give her a lot of credit because when you come in with the best jump, everyone is looking at you. Not only did you perform your best jump, she went ahead and she improved on every jump that she had. And she broke her record 3 times. So she went from 18.1 and a quarter all the way to an 18.8 in 3 quarters. So at the end of her competition, Division III, she had the best jump in the state out of all 3 divisions. So she needs to be commended for that. I would also like to thank my athletic director, Miss Leanna Coots, and of course, her mom, Miss Winfrey, who was very supportive all year. She's done a real good job supporting the coaches and working with us with Ashton, and without those people, she would have not accomplished her great feat this year. So again, thank you, Franklin County Commissioners, and we really had an enjoyable season, and Ashton topped it off with our first state championship for the Afrocentric Girls Track Team. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Coach, and to your assistant coaches, and definitely to Ashton on her accomplishments. So I will open it up to my colleagues who tend to have, some parting words for all of the student athletes, and I'll wrap it up.
I guess I'll start. Let me just say to all of the student athletes that have been recognized here today, to your coaches, to your families, I want to say congratulations first to the student athletes. I believe very deeply. First of all, let me tell you, I have experience in the roles that you have been in the state competition. Also competed in track in Division I college, as did my son. And what I know for sure about those athletic experiences and competitions is that the things that you learn as a student athlete apply very much to your everyday life as a professional, as a member of a family, and a person in the community. The things that many of you talked about around adversity, perseverance, and hard work apply in every aspect of your life, and they will be very much useful tools and attributes that will bring you some of the same successes in life that you've had on the athletic competition. And so I just want to encourage you, enjoy the moment. You've earned it, certainly, but also remember the lessons that you learned and apply those in your everyday goings. So congratulations again to all the student athletes, to the coaches, to the institutions that you represent, and good luck to your future endeavors.
Excuse me. Like Commissioner Boyce and Commissioner Crowley, I once, long ago, was also an athlete. Competed at the state level, won a state championship with my high school wrestling team. But that was a lifetime ago. And the one thing I always like to remind the athletes that come before us is, please make sure that this accomplishment, the accomplishments that you guys have had on the track, on the field of play here in high school, are not this isn't the most important accomplishment of your life. Use this experience, use this as a springboard to more important accomplishments, greater achievements in your future endeavors. This should be something that catapults you to greater success in life. If you get to be our age, my age, and you look back, I'm getting ready to have my 40-year high school reunion. So I'm an old man. But if you get to my age and you look back on your life, and the most important thing you ever accomplished was this state championship, that would be too bad for you. That would be an underachievement. You need to use this to catapult yourself to greater things, bigger and better things in your life. And the one thing we always like to encourage everybody to do is make sure that you remember all of those who helped you get to where you are. It's important to recognize those that are around you, that are helping you along the way. So well done, young folks. We are very, very proud of you. The reason we do this is to make sure that you understand that not just the three of us, we represent the community. We represent Franklin County, and we believe it and mean it when we say every resident every day. And every resident of Franklin County is proud of what you've accomplished. Great job.
Okay, before we wrap up, I see a few people who have their hand raised. Coach Green, Darren Green, you have your hand raised. Did you want to say something?
Well, yeah, I just had a question. Just exactly, how could I see this recording? I know it's recorded. I know, is that possible?
Coach Green.
I mean, later on.
Thank you, Coach Green, for your question. This is Brittany Raisik, Clerk to the Board. You can go to our website after session in the afternoon. It should be posted, or on our YouTube channel as well. And that's where it will be indefinitely if you want to review it after that.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to share it with some of the kids that wasn't able to see it.
Absolutely. Coach Roger Whitaker, I see your hand is raised.
Yeah, I think you missed Gahanna as their state champions.
Oh, I apologize. We're not on my list, but please, glad you are here with us today. Go ahead.
I want to thank the commissioner's office and for recognizing us. I mean, it's a great thing because track and field ends really late, and when you do real well, you don't really get that recognition that you do with some of the other sports in school. So it's always a great thing. It's always great to finish well, but what comes with that is that you don't have the other students in the school kind of celebrate your successes and that kind of thing. So having this is great, and for us, and we've done a lot of great things lately. It's been great. Track and field is on fire right now, as you guys know. You're watching these things on TV with the NCAAs and the Grand Prix and the Nationals coming up. Our sport is doing real well right now. I'm really very happy with what's going on. It's great for us, particularly. We won the team state championship, and this is our third. We won in 2015, won in 2018, and now we won in 2022. So that's been a blessing, and it's been very exciting for me. I'm still having tons of fun doing that. But we also had our 4x2 were state champions this year, and in doing that, they broke a school record. They ran a 138.32, which is an amazing time. They finished number 19 in the country for that. And that was Ayanna Stafford, that was Camden Bentley, Amron Chilton, and Keena Sanders. Not winning a state championship, but I'm going to echo Coach Green from Pickerington. When you see people come back, we were runner-ups in the 4x1, but we had a girl on the end. Our anchor runner came back, and just as impressive as Troy Lane. You got to look at that video also, because that was amazing. We were basically in 8th place, and 5 more meters, and we probably would have won the race. And we're talking about state finals, so that's amazing. When you talk about those kinds of things, you got to give it up to Yaya, as we call her, our anchor runner there. And all of our 4x2 are underclassmen, so we'll be back next year and hopefully do some great things. Last but not least, I want to mention Camden Bentley, who is just an amazing athlete, and her story. I just don't have time enough to tell you about her development. But at the state meet, actually, she ran a 13.25, which would have been a national record. a national high school record, but it was wind dated 3.3. She'd already set the Ohio record, which was 22 years old, set by LaVonna Martin, I think, Delonda Jackson. And her record was 1365, but Camden blew that away with a 1345, and she ran a 1325, which just jaw-dropping for and ran U.S. #1. So she is an amazing athlete, and she's just a junior. So, we get the pleasure of having her back next year, and everybody else gets the pleasure of watching her perform again. So our season was just an amazing season. Again, the weather was pretty bad, but we ended up having a great weather weekend and with some great performances with Mr. Lane and Nick Plant, and then, our girls and the things that we've done. But, this sport is on fire, like I said, right now. And so just wanted to thank you guys. I think probably some of our girls are on right now. So if you want to go to them for any comments.
Absolutely, Coach. If you have students who are here, we want to hear from them.
Hi, I'm known as Yaya, and I just want to say thanks for the recognition. Next up, me, Cam, and Amron, we're all going to New Balance later in the week, so that'll be exciting. Me and Amron are both in the 100 and 200, and then Cam is in 100 hurdles and 400, so that'll be fun to see. The 4x2 was a great race, and all I know that during my leg, I just knew I had to break the stagger up. And yeah, that really helped. And it's really nice to know that I could contribute to being state champs with my 100 placing third, and 4x2 and 4x1.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Hey, where's the New Balance meet at this year? Where's it at?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, okay. Good luck.
Are there any other students? All right, well, congratulations. And I see that Coach Ryan Alishire is here, and I apologize, I skipped over Hilliard Davison. Coach, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you today. We just wanted to say thank you for having us on. Myself, I'm Coach Alshire. This is Coach Beatty. We have a young man, Jack DeFrancisco, who won the pole vault for Division I. Jumped 15.6 this year, ended up jumping 16.6 last year. He's committed to University of North Carolina to go on and jump there and continue his education. But just wanted to say a couple things about him. He's an extremely hard worker, very dedicated, very motivated, has done a lot of the training that he needs to, sometimes even on his own. And we've just been very, very blessed to have him part of our program for the past few years. We're going to miss him a lot. We're going to obviously keep following him and root for him at the University of North Carolina. But, he comes from a great family, a great work ethic, and just can't say enough good things about this young man, but just wanted to give him his credit. I know he's still on here. He said he doesn't wish to say anything, but I know if he would say anything, he would congratulate everybody else, as well as thank his parents, coaches, and teammates. So that's all. Jack DeFrancisco, again, Division I pole vault champion. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and I apologize I missed you earlier. And I see Director Logan, you have your hand raised.
I was just making sure, I saw that we had missed them, and I just was going to call that to your attention, but they did it for themselves, so thank you.
Great, thank you, I appreciate you. And so I just want to echo what Commissioner Boyce and Commissioner O'Grady already said. Congratulations, and don't let this be the thing that defines you. I was a student athlete as well. I played softball, and my daughter just wrapped up her final traveling club season in volleyball and looking to play club volleyball at the University of Kentucky in the fall. And so I know what it takes to play at this level, and it takes teamwork, it takes perseverance and determination, and it will be all the things that you need in your next journey, your next chapter in your life. It is all the things that will make you a well-rounded individual in general. But the things that you've learned with your teammates and your coaches is something that will carry with you lifelong. Also, thank your parents and your village around you that helped you get to where you are today. It definitely takes a village. It takes sacrifice, not just from you as the student athlete, but also the village that supports you. So don't forget to show your gratitude and appreciation for them. So again, congratulations to all the athletes and coaches. You are welcome to stay with us and see how county government works, but we know you are busy, you are training, and trying to enjoy your time off. So if you want to log off now, you can, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And if I can get approval of the minutes for the June 7th, 2022 general session and the June 9th, 2022 briefing session.
So move.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
Thank you. First up, we have the coroner.
Resolution number 45022. Resolution authorizing an agreement with Paul Worth Associates Incorporated to provide public relations consulting in the amount of $25,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Amanda Wright. I'm with the Franklin County Coroner's Office representing Dr. Annie Hugh-Ortiz. So before you use the resolution, that is an agreement with Paul Worth and Associates to provide public relation guidance during the term of the agreement, which is for 6 months, upon signature by the Franklin County Administrator in the amount of not to exceed $25,000. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval and the execution of the contract with the County Commissioner signing, and anything in the future that would be not inconsistent with this resolution.
I'm sorry, Clerk Razak, what was the number again?
Resolution 45022.
All right, I will move approval of resolution 45022.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Abstain.
Resolution number 45022 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Next, we have Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 45122. Resolution authorizing the Sixth Amendment to the intergovernmental agreement between the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, the Franklin County Engineers Office, and the Franklin County Transportation Improvement District in the amount of $185,546.50.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Soulis, Government Affairs Liaison for Franklin County Engineer Cornell Robertson. Although this is a Commissioner resolution, we are presenting it this morning as it deals with the intergovernmental agreement, the modification of it between the Transportation Improvement District, the Engineer, and the Board of Commissioners. Commissioners' approval of this resolution will allow us to modify the agreement to provide funding to the TID so it can construct improvements, contract for the construction of improvements to the Front Street Garage in conjunction with the 7071 massive construction by ODOT. And the improvements include, but not limited to, the repair of expansion deck joints, repair of delaminated concrete slabs, and repair of the ramp walls. So pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 451-22.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 45122 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next up, we have the engineer.
Resolution number 45222, Trans Systems Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing general engineering services in the amount of $100,000.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks approval of a contract with Trans Systems, Inc. They are consulting engineers here local in Franklin County to assist our office with general engineering services. The first task order identified for this contract is to assist our office with federal funding opportunities created through the recently passed Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Trans System was selected using our quality-based criteria. So pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 452-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 45222 has been adopted. Resolution number 45322. Stantec Consulting Services Incorporated, consulting engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer by providing preliminary engineering design services for the Alum Creek Drive Widening Improvement Project, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $1,632,954.
Commissioners, as the title suggests, this resolution seeks approval of a contract with Stantec Consulting Services to provide preliminary engineering design services for the Elm Creek Drive Widening Improvement Project. Stantec is a local engineering firm and was selected via the qualifications-based selection process. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 453-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 45322 has been adopted. Resolution number 45422. Resolution authorizing the Franklin County engineer to enter into a contract modification with Answer Advisory LLC for construction inspection services, an increase of $100,000 for a revised contract amount of $200,000.
Commissioners, this next, this next resolution seeks a modification with Answer Advisory LLC to provide for additional construction inspection services. This modification is necessary because of the need for inspection services on numerous projects that the Franklin County engineer has pending right now. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 454-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 45422 has been adopted. Resolution number 45522. Resolution authorizing the Franklin County engineer to enter into a contract modification with Woolport Incorporated for a Sunbury Road at Woodward Avenue project, an increase of $37,369 for a revised contract amount of $258,718.
Commissioners, this next resolution seeks approval of a contract modification with Woolport, Inc. For the Sunbury Road at Woodward Avenue project. As a result of the addition to the scope of the project to include geotechnical services and inspection of the auger cast pile testing, it became necessary to change the scope in order to meet the needs of this project. So pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 455-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 45522 has been adopted. Resolution number 45622. Report first of the Franklin County engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Norton Road, County Road number 3, and Crop Road, Grove City Road, County Road number 135 Improvement Project, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $27,005.
Commissioners, our last resolution seeks compensation for 3 property owners abutting the Norton Road and Crop Road, Grove City Road Improvement Project. It is located in southwest Franklin County in Pleasant Township and proposes to construct a single lane modern roundabout. We negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based on appraised fair market value. So pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 456-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 45622 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the sheriff.
Resolution number 45722. Resolution authorizing a contract with City of Columbus Department of Municipal Court Judges to provide police services in the amount of $15,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. My name is Albert Smith, and I'm the Assistant Finance Director here for the Sheriff's Office. This resolution will authorize a contract with the City of Columbus so that our office can continue to work with the Franklin County Probation Services and City Attorney Domestic Violence Unit to expand collaborative efforts to effectively identify and manage high-risk domestic violence offenders as they move through probation services. The term of this contract will be from May 30th this year through December 30th of 2022.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 457-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 45722 has been adopted. Resolution number 45822. Resolution authorizing the acceptance of a violent crime reduction grant for the Central Ohio Violence Eradication Response Team in the amount of $332,732.89.
Commissioners, our last resolution will allow the Sheriff's Office to accept funding from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services for the Violent Crime Reduction Grant to enhance the battle against violent crime here in Franklin County. The grant will be utilized for overtime and to purchase equipment. The Sheriff's duties will include administration, implementation, oversight of the grant in collaboration with several local municipalities and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. The grant period is from May 1st of this year through June 30th of next year. Pending any questions, I request passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 458-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 45822 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Next, we have Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 45922. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with the St. Vincent Family Center to support transportation services for Medicaid-eligible youth participating in day treatment programs in the amount of $569,850.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. St. Vincent's Day Treatment Program provides mental health counseling and services for 6 to 9 months to ensure children are prepared to return to school ready to learn. However, changes in the behavioral health redesign have reduced capacity to privately underwrite the travel expenses, creating an equity issue for vulnerable children and families with behavioral health needs. Under this agreement, St. Vincent's plans to serve approximately 225 children, ages 3 to 12, in their day treatment program, utilizing pass-through funds from the Ohio Department of Medicaid to our agency to support non-emergency medical transportation services. And pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 459-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 45922 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next, we have Purchasing.
Resolution number 46022. Resolution authorizing third contract modification with Universal Work and Power LLC, doing business as Kemper Shuttle Services for Consolidated County Transportation Services, Lift, Non-Lift, and Escort, in the amount of $1,299.81.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Matthew, Assistant Director of Purchasing, and joining me to introduce the resolution is Veteran Service Commission Assistant Director of Services, Matt Zelnick. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Matt Zelnick, Assistant Director of Services for the Veteran Service Commission. This resolution this morning is seeking a contract modification Kemper was not able to bill for services due to a staffing shortage in late 2020 and all through 2021. The 2020 invoice amount is $35.52. The 2021 invoice amount is $1,264.29. Total amount due, as you heard, is $1,299.81. They have hired staff now, and Kemper is current on all 2022 invoicing. Pending your questions, request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 460-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 46022 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Resolution number 46122. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,800,072.21.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 67 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. And joining me is Marlise Ryan, Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Marlise has the supplier diversity data for the week. Good morning, Marlise.
Good morning, Tracy, and good morning, Commissioners. We have for your approval today 3 purchase orders presented to award to 3 women business enterprises totaling $15,798. The following agencies have increased supplier diversity within Franklin County: Public Facilities Management, the Clerk of Courts, and Emergency Management.
Thank you, Marlise. Pending any questions, Commissioners, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 461-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 46122 has been adopted.
Thank
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good one. Next, we have Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 46222. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute contract modifications to all existing and future construction contract agreements where the modification does not involve an increase to the contract price, and authorizing the county administrator to take any further actions necessary to effectuate the approval and execution of such modifications as originally granted under and subject to the same terms and limitations as described in Resolution number 34021 through December 31st, 2023.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jesse Armstrong, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney for our Civil Division. This resolution would renew and extend the authority of the County Administrator to approve and execute contract modifications on construction contracts where the modification does not involve any increase in the price. If you recall, by Resolution 034021, this board did approve and authorize the county administrator to have this authority last year. The original period was just 1 year, which expired in May. So this resolution would renew that authority for these minor contract modifications where there's no price increase. It would again be temporary, so if approved, this resolution would provide the administrator the authority through the end of 2023. Pending any questions, we would request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 462-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 46222 has been adopted.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any journalizations?
Yes, we have one. The Franklin County Board of Commissioners will hold a public hearing on the 2023 Franklin County tax budget. This hearing will be held on Tuesday, June 28th, 2022 at 9 a.m. at General Session in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, 369 South High Street, Main Lobby, Columbus, Ohio, 43215, and via Zoom conferencing. Additional information may be obtained by contacting the clerk to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners at 614-525-5387.
Okay, great. Thank you. Are there any members of the media who are on who would like to ask any questions? All right, hearing and seeing none, with no further business, that concludes our meeting for today. Everyone have a happy 614 day.